So help me welcome this morning Kadenia Javis of Javis Tax Service.
Am I good to stand here? Good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for inviting me. Along with me is my better half, Mr. Christopher Javis. Good thing today, Wednesday is an off day, so we hang out together on our off days. Because other than that, I'm in the tax office January through April, working 16 to 17 hours a day. Tell a little bit. This is an entrepreneurship class. Club. Okay. What are some aspirations that you have? I just want to hear from each one of you. Little icebreaker. What do you want to do? What do you do? What do you love to do? What is your passion to do that you want people to pay you for?
Well, I mean, I like people and kids, but as for right now, me and my family, we have a popcorn business.
Oh.
Yeah, we had just about every type of business you can think of, but we own popcorn right now.
What's the name of it?
Carolina Kernels.
In Greenview Shopping Plaza. I've been there. My daughter visits there frequently. We see the green bags in her room. And hot dogs.
Yeah.
Awesome. That is a great niche. Great niche.
You know the source.
Yes. Now I got an inside connect. Okay. You, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I want to open up my own bail bonding company.
Bail bondsman. Yeah. People always going to break the law. They're going to need you.
Only if they get caught.
That is a good business, though. You know.
Everybody's guilty. So
That is true. That is true.
First employee.
you be my first employee.
You,
Exactly.
you, sir?
I plan on, I don't know, like thinking about doing my own private security agency.
Homes, something like neighborhood security, or?
It can be neighborhood security, or it can be security directed to certain schools or campuses, public.
Protective agency type
Protective
stuff.
agency.
Okay, that is great. And you, ma'am?
I'm not really sure yet.
You're not sure yet. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
I don't know. Not a whole lot.
Because believe it or not, most entrepreneurs, what they get paid to do started out as a hobby. And it started out like that for me, as a hobby. I graced these halls myself between 96, 97. I did the majority of my caseload at the airport campus. I wanted to be a dentist at first. And then they put all that math before me, and I was like, I'm not setting myself up for failure. So I changed my major to accounting, ironically.
Then you gotta smell people's breath.
Yeah, you do. I mean, with every occupation, you got your pros and your cons. Every occupation. Because I still have people before me, I have to smell their breath too. So it's all good.
You don't gotta be in their mouth.
And you, ma'am?
I would like to invest in stocks, personal investment.
Financial advisor.
Not necessarily financial advisor, because when you're advising other people's money, you really cannot take the risk that I want to take.
Financial planner?
Personal investment. So I want to be an investor. But what I want to do is protect my money that's coming in and not keep Uncle Sam's hands from getting into it.
Some tax sheltering.
Legally.
You and I could collaborate on some things. Okay? And you, ma'am?
I am working on a project for low-income housing.
Okay. That is wonderful. Something with like housing authority, the urban development.
It will be a collaboration of the two, partnership per se. There's a little bit more in-depth that I'm like sheltering, but which is a little bit more in-depth information, but primarily it will deal with low-income housing and creating a working-class community.
Okay. So you have your guidelines
I have
for the
my
applicants?
Amazingly, I have my guidelines before I have my business plan.
Okay, and that was going to be my next question. Who all has a business plan for their their business that they want to get paid for, the service that they want to provide? That was something that, ironically, this is my 17th year doing taxes. I didn't get the business plan together till I was a fast track student. It was just a matter of taking the time, putting your ideas and dreams on paper, because you can't go into any bank and ask for any business loan without them seeing your vision on paper. You can sit there and tell them, but they need to have it strategically planned out And the SBA has a great template format that will allow you to do that. This is my 5th year being full-time in my business. Like I said, it started out as a hobby at the kitchen table at home once I took my first income tax accounting class here at Midlands Tech. And, you know, I had gotten married in '95, and me and my husband went to one of the big threes, the franchises, and the fee that they charged I thought was ridiculous. And of course we had to pay, and I'm like, it's got to be something, it's got to be a better way. So of course, when I took the class and learned all the ways to maximize deductions and credits that we had allowed, it was a better way. And then one of the things that I learned about the franchises, they hire people in October, and nothing totally against that. They train them on their system, and then they fire them April 15th. So that was another niche with my business that I wanted to, whenever I was allowed to be able to open it full time, to be open year long. So when clients get letters from the Department of Revenue or the Internal Revenue Service, when they come back to my office where they got their taxes done, they don't see a sign on the door saying, we're closed after April 15th. Call this number. Someone will return your call within 48 to 72 hours. I just didn't feel like that was good customer service. But like I said, I started out at the kitchen table doing taxes, and then as years went on and I continued my education, I left Midlands Tech, transferred and went to Limestone College and got my BS in accounting, and then I went on to Strayer University and got my MBA. Worked for the IRS. Thought that was my dream job. It took me 5 years to get into the federal government on usajobs.gov. Took me 5 years to get an interview. Finally got it. You know it very well. It's not easy to get in. I got in. It was a lot of travel involved because every time Congress meet, and if you work for the Department of Treasury, you have to go train on those new laws and tax laws and everything that goes along with it if you work for the Department of Treasury. So having that, my life went from being a mother of 2 to a mother of 4 because I had twins the last time around. I had to make a decision in my life. You know, I'm working full time, I'm doing taxes. Now my life has changed from being a mother of 2 to 4. So, you know, with the support of my husband, I went ahead and resigned my full-time job, and this is my 5th year full-time, and we have grown exponentially since I'm able to dedicate 110% to my business. Sometimes I know starting with businesses, you have to work your full-time because you got to have the resources from your paycheck every 2 weeks. You know, you just do. I was in banking and finance before I, you know, got on with the Internal Revenue Service, but there will come a time where you're going to cap off. You know, you're going to be like, okay, it's been 3 years and I'm still making the same thing with this job. And that's because you're not there. And nobody's going to treat your baby like you treat it. I have a staff of 4 full-time employees now and 5 part-timers. But nobody is going to treat your dream and your vision like you. But what you have to do is mold them, train them, and cultivate them into the culture that you want. Because it's going to be a time, and I learned this in my fast track class, you have to have an exit strategy. You can make all the money you know, that your heart desires, but if you working 20 to 60 hours, I mean, you know, 20, almost out of 24 days, I worked 17 hours last Tuesday, and that was not a good thing. You know, you have to learn to be, as Tom say, the CEO of your company. But it's hard when you love what you do. I love preparing taxes. I love reducing the taxable liability for the community, for clients. So it's just, you have to find a balance. I will tell you, like I said, that business plan, also looking at your finances of your company. When you get in the hustle and bustle of work, you know, doing the popcorn and doing the investments, you need to see how much income did I bring in this quarter. You may not be able to look at it every week, but at least sit down. I suggest every month. But sometimes when you get busy and you get more clients, that monthly becomes a task. But every quarter you got to sit down, have a financial statement, or have a bookkeeper. If you're not able to do your books, you need to invest in your company. I know when you're starting out firsthand, a lot of people can't afford a $400 a month bookkeeper as a retainer. You can search around and get some that are cheaper, but you have to communicate with your accountant to let them know, hey, it's only me. I only have 1 employee. So is there any way you can work with that budget for us? And that's another thing that we pride ourselves into. We look at the finances of the company. We look at how many employees they have, and then that way we can determine, okay, how much time is going to be entailed in keeping that person's books, so that when the time comes and they want to go out and purchase a building, or you may need to purchase equipment. I know you all probably have very expensive equipment with the popcorn.
Popcorn equipment probably cost us about $90,000
And you all had to finance it, right?
out of pocket.
I mean, but you financed it. You had to go to a bank to get a loan.
Yeah.
So you had to go with the business plan, right? And because if you didn't have that business plan and they didn't see what you was going to do with that $90,000, you wouldn't have gotten it. And the same thing with you with the bail bondsman's company. You know, you may think I just need a place with a computer and a printer. You're going to need a extensive phone line system and Spirit Communications. I checked into them. It was like the cheapest plan was like $500 a month. I'm like, really? No, I don't need that much of a phone plan. But it's just everything to the paper. You know, in my occupation, we go through about 80 cases of paper. I didn't realize how much paper. That's the bulk of my business, because every file is about 20 to 25 papers, you know, even front and back. So paper is the bulk of the tax office and the bookkeeper, because I got my business clients. I need to give them their financial statements. Even though we are electronic, a paperless office, you still have to have tangible documents to give that client for when they want to take it to their bank. And another thing, Fast Track opened my eyes of what was that exit strategy. I never thought about, what am I going to do if I close my eyes tomorrow? What will my husband be faced with? You got to think about that. A lot of times we don't want to talk about death, but death is real. You know, as we were born, we shall die. So you got to think about, who do you want in place? Who you want calling the shots? Who's going to be your CFO? Who's going to be your COO? You know, answering the questions. And of course, I have a supervisor that knows the interactions or operations day to day. But, you know, if something happens to me, my spouse will be the next one in charge of the business. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Yes,
The one
ma'am.
that I'm more so focused on is all of your services outside of just preparing taxes. Do you actually also look helping other businesses with a financial plan?
Yes, ma'am.
Creating that financial plan.
And I'm just started being able to do that these last 5 years that I went full time. Offering bookkeeping, accounting, and payroll, sitting down, analyzing, and doing a strategy plan on where you are now, where you want to be 2 or 3 years from now, the products and services that you're going to offer. Sometimes we might have to scale down in the beginning, you know, but then with the housing thing, yours is pretty big. Yeah, yours is extremely big, because you're talking thousands of dollars for one person. So, you definitely, but yes, you definitely come see us. We will definitely help you. We do business services A to Z. Now your thing, what she does, we don't do, because that takes. Will you have your Series 6, 7 for stocks, for investments?
So what I do is I just look at, I research my companies,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a certain parameter that what I'm looking for, because my objective is never to lose my principal.
Okay.
Make as much money as I can, but never to lose my principal. So I'm looking at companies like 3M, you know, Microsoft, Netflix, Amazon, and try to project Netflix, for example. You look at the younger generation; they're very interested. I mean, they're looking at their phone, they're watching movies. You know, cable companies taking a hit because they're doing
Netflix, right? Netflix putting time on Amazon.
I'm looking at companies that I feel would be profitable, and I listen to their quarterly report that comes out, because your mutual funds, they have their hands tied, so they have to show profit within 12 months. A lot of times these companies do not show profits. If they're long term, you buy them and you hold them. That's where you make your money, is buying and holding. But your mutual funds are tied in because the customer wants to see how much money they're making. And it doesn't always go up and down. Sometimes you might have a good month, and sometimes they'll take a dip, because like your oil, if the surplus of oil is abundant, then your oil companies are going to take a hit because they're not selling as much. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So I have more freedom on my own personal investment versus investing for somebody else's money, because I'm concerned about his money now. I don't want to lose this money.
So you're not interested in working for Edward Jones?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
I want to work for somebody, make them money, and I'm only getting a cut. That's
Yes, and that's true. That's true, and that's one of the reasons. Probably in 2006, H&R Block sent me a $69,000 check in the mail. I guess they have access to all the smaller tax offices. Well, you know, it's public knowledge with who's authorized e-filer with the Internal Revenue Service. And it came in like August, you know, tax season was over, and it was very tempting. If I cashed this check, I would be buying into their franchise. They wanted me to come to some beach in Virginia, me and my husband, all exclusive paid for like 2 weeks, so they could wine and dine us and get us to, you know, I would be selling my book of business to them, but I would still run the H&R Block office. And then I would have to be open their hours. I would have to charge their fees. And that's something that I also do not. You know, the fees that they charge. I learned at a class here recently, they charge by the strokes. Where most accountants charge by the forms and the schedules. That H&R Block, I think we were in Texas. I went to a class in Texas. They charge by the strokes. So that means if you got, I mean, they do the forms too, but whichever one is the most, that's the one that the computer is going to generate your receipt. So when they come in my office and I had a customer come in yesterday, him and his wife, married, filing jointly, plus he has a partnership with that, which that is a 1065 form. He paid $1,300. And I'm not going to say it's not worth it, but I looked at the K1, which that's the partnership, it was only like $6,500. See, we do an analyzation of the whole picture. And because we're private and we're small, we can do that. But if I was to buy into one of the big threes, we call them the big boxes, big threes, I would have to do things the way they do them. And it's a franchise. So, you know, you got to do with the franchise. Yes, you have the support. Yes, you have the marketing, but you don't have the closeness. I remember being a little girl going in Jackson Hewitt, my mother. It was not kid friendly, you know. People look at, can you get your child, you know, because, you know, you're antsy. Children are antsy. So I have children. So I have it. I got toys for the children. We got snacks for the children because parents are working. They're coming in the afternoons to get their finances done. So they may not have had time to grab, you know, McDonald's or something for their child. So it's just the little things that we make it personal at the office that I want to keep that way. So I pray that I never be in a situation where I have to sell my business to one of the bigger franchises.
Question for you.
Yes.
You mentioned how you actually set yourself aside outside of the box of other companies as far as with the children and the toys. What other things that you do to make yourself stand out? Because, you know, there's an abundance of tax service that are available. So
that is
what
true.
Would make an individual pursue you more so than going down the street?
The customer service that we offer. And one thing about me, we have about 2,000 clients. And even if you don't sit at my desk, all files go through me because that is, like I say, my EFIN number that we file to the Internal Revenue Service. So I know that name. And even while I'm working with clients, I'm up and I'm walking. When I see new faces, because this is something we did and implemented this year that my husband bought in, new clients get a yellow info sheet when they're coming in. Old clients get a green info sheet. Everybody has to fill out an info sheet every year because people move, people close bank accounts, people change cell phones. So we got to caption. Some people, I've been coming here 10 years. I still got, yes, ma'am, you got to follow the rules. We got policies and procedures in place. Don't change your policies and procedures for the consumer. The consumer has to abide by yours because that's the way you do business. And it keeps down on mistakes and accidents. You know, you accidentally send it to the account that you had with your husband last year, and this year y'all not together, you know? So, and then so as I'm walking around, I can see, oh, that's a yellow sheet. That's a new person. Let me see how they found out about us. You know, and shaking their hand. And I thank all my customers. Thank you for supporting small businesses. You know, American Express has Small Business Week. And that is a wonderful thing. The city of Columbia supports small businesses, keeping it in the community, supporting our own, you know, keeping local dollars, keeping dollars local. You know, the franchises are fine. Yes, we are going to have to go to Walmart for things, you know, but if you can go to your mom and pop store just for 1 or 2 items and you can support them, then now that I'm a you know, entrepreneur and this is my bread and butter, how I feed my children, I understand the concept now. I understand
So let me ask
it.
you another question. And in the area that your offices are located at, do you and other businesses form a partnership to where you are
Doing business with one another.
and then
It's-
keeping that family unity like?
Yes, I'm in a
format?
plaza, Sesqui Center. It's off of 2 Notch Road, right before Maurice Barbecue, right before Sesqui Park. So there's a nail shop there. She's Asian. Her name is Milan. I love her to death. You know, me and my girls go there and support her business, and I do her and her staff. You know, there's a karate place. There's a dry cleaners. There's a copy center. We are like family in that plaza, and that makes a difference. And when we open the next, because we do have plans of opening other branches in franchise, not per se. I've talked to an attorney. We're not gonna franchise, but expanding and having multiple offices. I want to look for something like that in a plaza. Of course, I want my headquarters to be in a standalone building. That is in my 5-year vision, on paper, goal. But you know,
Galactic headquarters.
yes, sir. But you know, for walk-ins and for safety reasons, you know, because we're during tax season, we at work late at night, but it's okay because I got a fitness studio. They normally come in 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Then we got the karate place that's there in the afternoon. So it's, you know, for safety reasons, I like being in the plaza as well. And then when you move in, you always go and introduce yourself, and of course, give them a package and let them know, you know, this is an introductory special that we want to offer you for, you know, you being our neighbor. You all in a good spot with the popcorn. I grew up in the Greenview community, so and that community kind of evolves and has taken care of itself for years too. You in a situation, as long as you got a phone line, you can be anywhere.
Exactly.
You can be anywhere.
Exactly.
They'll be looking for you.
I'm very smart.
What other questions we have about being an entrepreneur? And guess what, guys? You have to pay yourself. But believe it or not, when you were talking about the 3 years, every business, and I'm talking on the IRS revenue agent side now, the first 3 to 5 years, they know that you're going to have plenty of expenses and your income may not come in right then like you know, like your projections would want it to be on paper. But that's okay because you're growing. But after year 5, and if I was the IRS agent, I come audit you and you still taking losses on your taxes, I'm going to recommend that you shut that business down and start something and try something else because this is not working. If you're not making money by year 5, you probably won't, but you never know. But you would know that by having the caption of doing it every quarter. If you're looking at your finances and you say, oh, okay, I took in $20,000 this quarter, I only spent $5. That's a good quarter.
Right now, you know, I know Bill's bond.
Okay.
But also, you also have to look at your projections for your yearly plan. It's not just for whether or not there is a loss. It also helps you to direct yourself as to where you are going and how much income, how much revenue you're actually bringing in as for that growth, for those terms of 5 years, 10 years. Should I move forward with opening
Another office.
exactly? Should I look at another area? You know, so it's not just for that.
I'll stick to one office.
Well, you know, you stick with one office, but I have moved multiple times because of the need of a lobby, the need of your friends and family going to refer other people. When I first started out, and I always tell the joke, I say my husband put me out the house in 2006. It's just a joke because clients would bring their W-2s to the house. And one client worked at UPS, got off 12 o'clock at night, came and put the W-2 under my doormat and rung the doorbell. And Mr. Javis was not too happy. He said, "You got to get out. We got to find your office."
Your home is your home.
Exactly. That's your castle. Yeah.
Separate business from home.
Exactly.
But most people have home offices now. I don't knock that because I have a lot of clients, therapists, and you know, just any different people. People selling Avon and Mary Kay, they have an office set up in their home, and there's a deduction for that too. You know, but dealing with money and the tax business, and it was just time for me to get out because, I capped my clientele because everybody's not going to come to your home. No matter how legitimate, no matter how many business licenses you have, if you don't have a brick and mortar on the outside, they look at you as not being real. And you just as real as you want to be with your home office and, you know, everything, your business licenses, but some people just don't take you as serious when they come to your home. So I moved to Trentham Extension on Scotsman Drive. It was a small office, 250 square feet. I could get nothing in there but a table, 2 chairs, and me. But that was, you know, that was my start. My office space was $250. That was very affordable. I was still working, you know, life still going on. And then when it got to the point where, because it was like a common area where you shared with other people with office suites, my people was taking over the common area, so they were complaining to the landlord, she needs to move. So I had to look for another office. And I have since then moved like 3 times. So I've been at 2 Notch. I just renewed my 3-year lease, and I'm happy there, very happy. The clientele, the area, the diversity, but I know we've outgrown that office too. So it is time for us to open a Javis tax service on another side of town. Does Tammy do commercial? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that, LaSanta.
That's her basis.
Commercial, okay, because I've sent her plenty of business for residential. Please don't tell her I didn't know that. But I would definitely keep that in mind this summer when we sit down and do some mastermind things. And you all, with being in business for yourself, you cannot be in business by yourself. You know, you got to have a mastermind team, whether it be your spouse, your significant other, mother, father, you know, friends, people of like-minded business. You know, they have goals and aspirations of doing things. It may not be what you're doing in the same line of work, but like-minded. And when I say your mastermind team, if I got a question or something, LaCenta is my, you know, construction person. What you think about this? Because she knows about construction. I have nothing. I just look at it, and if it look pretty, but she be like, no, that's it just look pretty. It's no good. It been sitting up too long. So, and normally it's about 5 people in your circle. When I say business circle, not your family circle of love, that one, but your business circle. You have to get, yes, ma'am.
You were just talking about the 5 people. Tell us the 5.
Is that like a mentorship program?
It could be, because of course you want somebody who got some wisdom and been there and done that, or has experience or can tell you where to go. You know, like with me, I have a lot of resources. I may not have all the answers, but I got a lot of resources. I know where I can go get, where you can go. I can help people to go get different things that they need. You're always going to need an attorney on your side. You're always going to need a good accountant on your side. Then you're going to need that person who's probably been in business for some years and can tell you, you know, some do's and don'ts. And then I like to have 2 people that don't know nothing and don't like nothing about taxes, because they have a different view. When you present something to them, they have a different view. You get somebody who do the same thing you do, y'all think alike. So you're not going to, you can learn from that person, but things are limited because y'all thinking alike with money, you know. And one thing I learned too, being in business, a lot of people think when you're in business, you got a lot of money. Not to say that that's not true, but most of the time, the same money you made on a W-2 job, you just a 1099 employee now. You know, you're just doing what you like to do for yourself. You have to be diligent. You have to pay yourself. Of course, you may not be able to pay yourself what you're worth the first 3 to 5 years, but at the end, as you go into year 6, you need to be paying yourself a decent salary, because it don't look good to the banks if you're not paying yourself. One thing that I did last year is I put myself on a W-2. It helped me as far as budgeting and managing, and also it's done. You know, I know what it's going to be. It's done. Now, of course, you own the company if you need a company draw, but that's the business money. That's not your money. That money is for the business, incidentals, your equipment breakdown. You may have to go and get a technician and come and fix that $90,000 equipment. My computers might get a virus that I can't just get an antivirus to take off. I may have to go buy a new computer. So if you're using up all of your resources, then what? You know, and then it's going to come a time you're going to want a line of credit. You're going to need a line of credit for incidentals. You may want to do some major advertising. You may want to do billboards. You may want to buy you a van and wrap it. That's the new fad now, putting your business on the vehicles, wrapping them. You always need a website, because everybody, like, we serve clients in 31 states. Some of my clients I've never seen, but they can go to that website and see what our products and services are. We have a presence in the social media, World Wide Web, as you say, and of course we got college interns who manage to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I won't have time for that. Because they love it. They do. They love it. And this younger generation, anything electronic. Let's see, what else? We covered our business plan, our exit strategy, paying ourselves. And you can, go ahead, huh?
I want to chime in on one question that you had in reference to how do we build with the clientele. Our strongest builder is education. Educate each and every one of your clients. That's what's going to separate you from a lot of your competitors. Make them extremely knowledgeable of what you're doing. Extremely knowledgeable. Make it plain Jane. Whenever they walk away, they know exactly what was done. That's very important.
And I will say this, perfecting your craft, knowing all that there is to know about your industry. People ask me, did I watch Scandal or did I watch Empire? No, but I can tell you what was in accounting today. I can tell you that Obama has extended the health care for people who did not sign up by February 15th. March 15th is coming back out to April 30th. And that's a part of my field. I got clients who need that help. So I'm glad that I got that message yesterday from my insurance guy. He called me, he's like, Kadenia, those people who got to pay that penalty, we got some help for them. So y'all spread that word if you know anybody that does not have, because insurance is a mandate, and if they don't have it, the penalties are being reduced out of their refund this year. That it was $95 or 1% of their adjusted gross income. Everybody had in their mind, oh, it's just $95. No, it was $95 or 1%. Next year's 2% or $325. Then the next year it goes up to $500 or $600, and it's going up. We don't know what's past year 3. But it's a mandate now, and people have to have it. And like I said, they're extending it. The open enrollment will be back again March 15th to April the 30th for anybody who does not have it. Tax laws, every time Congress meet, something changes. Of course, the healthcare industry this year, people have a lot of questions. A lot of people didn't have it. They came in the office, told us they did. They had a copy of an insurance card, because now we have to get that for the Internal Revenue Service. I'm like, can they throw a little extra tab on us for doing their work? But, and of course, the insurance was expired, so it's holding up their refunds. And they telling me they need their money back because they paid me for electronic filing. No, you paid me to provide a service for you, and we asked you our due diligent questions about your insurance. Ma'am, your Social Security number is a verification number. They're going to find out that you had expired insurance. So because you didn't tell the truth, then they're going to hold up your refund of the amount that I sent in, and they're going to take out their 1% or their $95, which may be an extra 6 to 8 weeks. So those are some issues that we got going on now. Yes, sir. You got your mouth open back there. They try it. They try it. People will try it, but that Social Security number follows you. And it's linking up with the Social Security Administration and DHHS. You cannot hide or run. It's the law. So they're going to catch you.
You can only cheat the system so many times.
And see, that's where the bail bondsmen come in when they get caught.
and those same individuals talk to the folks that issue student loans.
Oh.
So they're going to know where you are.
Yep.
So if you got a student loan outstanding, not like when Ben and I were in college. We finally paid my wife's student loan off like 18 years after we.
Oh yeah, that's a debt I know I'm gonna take to my grave.
They weren't diligent in following, but right now, because they're tied in Internal Revenue Service and everybody else and Social Security Administration, they identify you with that Social Security number. If you're not in school, they're coming to get their money.
And that's something else we assist with. We assist with FAFSA, and because when I worked at Strayer University, I was in financial aid. So I learned that system front and backwards. So I assist my clients with that. You know, a lot of time you got grandparents that are raising their grandchildren, and they're not as computer savvy as, you know, so they can come in and we do that for them free of charge. Yeah. And then sometimes they get those rejects because FAFSA goes with your tax return. You cannot do a tax return and say you were head of household with 2 children. Then when you do your FAFSA, and it asks you how many people live in the household, and you say 6. So then the school at Midlands Tech gonna send a verification worksheet where the truth is. Well, and when the school finds out, financial aid counselor, then that's when you got to go back and do an amendment on those taxes, married filing separately or married filing jointly. Yep. Like I say, that Social Security number is there for a reason. It is linked up to everything. Are there any more questions? I enjoyed being here with you guys. Yes, Miss Lewis.
Yes, hello.
Hi there.
I'm here to support.
Well, I thank you.
Would you tell them a little bit about the Fast Track program and the importance of networking with other business owners and continue? I know you talked about educating yourself on the accounting side and the law, but also on the business side.
Lucinta was in our class last year, 2014, and we had talked about definitely being neighbors wherever you go, and definitely Fast Track opened up ideas. That Kaufman program is excellent, because I keep telling that exit strategy, I really had to do that and put that in place because I had not thought about that. The networking, the business plan, and the different presenters that came in that talked to us about their experiences and things that they did. I know Natalie did my end of the year conference, Miss Gregg, leading in stilettos, and she's an awesome speaker. And process improvement. No matter, every day, we're always looking for ways to do our job easier, because at the end of the day, you need to work smart and not hard, right? So process improvement, and that's where my husband with the manufacturing comes in at, trying to put in those processes in the tax office to help us be expedient, but also, you know, quality of work, your quality of work. And again, like I say, we go to classes year round. We take classes, Department of Revenue, the IRS. We definitely have to do our tax classes. Every year we have to go to Georgia because we have to, and then the IRS forms. My office, and it's mandatory. If you're going to be employed here, I need these 4 certificates in your file before we go into the next tax season. Because how you going, if a client asks you a question and you're not confident in your answer, then they're not going to come back to you. You know, if I ask you a question about the Affordable Care Act and you can't tell me anything about it, or you tell me you direct me to a website, because I have done that, gone places and asked questions, and they be like, oh, I'm not sure, just check out the website. If I wanted to read, I would have read. I'm here in your establishment where you do this every day. You should know the answer. And that's what a lot of people, where your business growth is going to come from, your knowledge, your confidence in what you're saying. And that's all about perfecting your craft. There's a lot of webinars out there. Me, I can't do webinars because I got ADD as an adult. I've diagnosed myself. I can't sit still long enough for a webinar. I have to be in a class. I was glad to be at Fast Track. It was during my tax season. It was busy, January through March, but those 3 hours every Tuesday night was well worth the investment in myself for being the leader at my tax office. Yes, Mr. Javis.
I want to ask you all a question. When do you start your processes? When do you start documenting your processes in your business?
Before I ever open the doors.
Yeah.
Way before.
Before I ever open the doors.
From
the moment.
is whenever you start documenting your process, because those processes are going to constantly change. And if you never document it, you never know what happened to make you change that process. You may find yourself going right back in a circle. And instead of making money, you're just going in a circle instead of going up, because you never changed that process or found out where you made the mistake in the process. So I'm telling you each right now, start documenting. Be passionate about it, even from conversations. Whenever you made a deal here, how did you discuss this deal? What was key in the discussion to make the deal work? Because you're going to have to make another deal. And you may have to say the same terms. You may have to use the same lingo. You may have to be gonna be important. You're gonna be winning people over, and you're gonna grow your business a lot faster if you know how you did it the first time and improve it. Real important.
And follow up. When you get a person's like the coffee thing we went to, follow up. Make sure you have business cards. Don't write nothing on a piece of paper. Have a business card. Vistaprint got them free, $6.95 I think for 500. Use those business cards for thanking them for taking the time to come to, if you invited them somewhere, or following up later, letting them know what all other services you provide, because that's what we're kind of doing now. Rebranding, letting people know we do more than just taxes. It's really, my legal name is Javis Financial Services. But my doing business as name is Javis Tax Service, because I know if I put Javis Financial Services on the billboard, people are going to run the other way because they're going to think I'm selling insurance, because I've had people to tell me that. You know, your name says it all. But when you say tax service, oh, we're going to get some money, so they're coming in. So then once you get them in, then it's your job to retain them and make sure they come back. And then that's your time to educate them and let them know we also do this, we also do that. You know, there's no need for you to have somebody over here doing your bookkeeping. I mean, unless you're just happy with that person. But if you can win them over and get the bookkeeping and accounting, and we do your taxes, everything under one roof, that'll be awesome. All you got to do is email us your bank statements once a month. Then we can put it into our accounting software. Then we will email you back your financial statements, your profit and loss statements, your GL ledger. But we deliver a nice copy and a binder for the client too. Mr. Ledbetter, you had your hand up before Lucinta. I'm sorry. Yes, Miss Cat. At Cromer's.
A lot of our students don't know about that.
What is the
1 million cups.
1 million cups? It is a networking, but it's also inventions. Mostly students, right?
Well, this is a Kaufman package again. So it's either the same people that do Fast Track. It's called 1 million cups because every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock local time, there are I think 72 cities now. Across the United States at local time where groups get together, have a cup of coffee, and talk about small business and entrepreneurship. All right, that's why it's called. They're trying to get to the point where there's 1 million cups of coffee being
served
consumed and talking about this. All right, so they've got the local organization here is at Cromer's. It's down at it's the section or intersection of
Huger.
Laurel Street and
Hugie.
Right there on the corner. It's in the same building as Cogdill Carpet, right there on the corner. They've got a coffee shop in there, and they'll pack it in. They'll pack them in there on Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. It starts at 9 o'clock. You have 2 presenters. You present for 7 minutes, and then you get 20 minutes of questions and answers, and a 3-minute changeover. Then the next presenter gets up 7 minutes, 20 minutes of questions and answers. And the room is full of people who are interested in what you're doing in your business, and are also there. There's many what I call dot connectors sitting in that office. One of which is me. You know, and I say I bet you they could benefit from LLE construction. You know, and so I'll reach out and get a business card and try to connect them up. But that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
It's really good too. And if you're considering starting a business, they have people who are presenting their business ideas, or they already started the business, or they're in the process of they're in the incubator and they're in the process of starting the business, and they come out and they present, and it's educational because everybody has different forms of business, but to see how their business model is and how they use technology, I mean, I recommend you go. It's really good.
Yes, sir.
I wasn't able to get there this morning, but 2 weeks ago, the gentleman, the Granger son that runs Circa 1331 up here across the street from the clothing store, had a young lady with him. And this young lady started out, she's got her own designer clothing line now. When she started out, she knew nothing about patterns, she didn't know how to sew, she didn't know anything about materials. She is now she's making men's denim clothing. Blue jeans sell for $450 to $700 a pair.
At where? Here?
Now that she is a supplier to Circa 1331. She makes the clothing, or has people make the clothing, and she retails them through Circa 1331. If I'd told my wife I spent $450 on a pair of blue jeans, I'd get buried in them. Right?
I bet you would. $450. And you guys, I see that Midlands Tech has a new brand,
Yes, we do.
new logo. Branding is so important with your business. And I think statistics show that a person has to see it 20 times to put the two together with the service and the product that you. So you got to be consistent, because if they're going to see it 20 times, they need to see the same thing 20 times. You know, whether it's whichever outlet you choose to do your marketing. And you need to be diverse when you market. You need to market in print, ad, and radio, because people hear, people see, people read. But not everybody reads. Not everybody look at TV like me. I don't see commercials too tough. But I do listen to the radio. So that's why you have to be diverse in your marketing. You can't just say, well, I'm just going to give out business cards, because you'll be doing a lot of work if that's all you're going to do. And I had a realtor. Go ahead, darling. No, I had a realtor to tell me this. He said, in order to make money, you have to spend money. But when you first starting out, that's a lot. You know, $1,000 for a billboard, that was a lot of money for me 10 years ago. I can do that today, but I couldn't do that 10 years ago.
You have to understand, Tom buys business cards by the case.
I go for 250 a quarter.
Really? But you out and about too, though, Tom. You do a lot of networking. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. And you know, I'm doing more of getting out of the office now since Fast Track, because I sit at that desk and key them numbers and crunch them numbers. I love my job. I really do. But I'm doing better. I am doing better. What was you finna say, huh?
No, what I was going to say is that one of the things that I'm finding with Midland Tech students is that they're forgetting the fact that they are a brand. We are not branding ourselves. It does not matter that your company has not jumped off the ground as of yet. What we fail to look at is that we know where we want to be at, but we're not marketing ourselves to where we are going. And so I think, you know, you two, the one thing that I see that you already have, everybody on campus need to know, I have popcorn. You need to be coming across town to Greenview Plaza. This is where I'm at. And then pushing that, this is where I'm going. You're going to need help, because guess what? If you're going to one of those USC games, here's my card. Give me a call whenever you need me. So we're not doing those things. And that's one of the things I love coming here, because of the fact that I have an opportunity to talk and narrow people down and say, okay, this is where I want to be at. This is what I'm trying to do. Where are you at? And tap into a lot of things. And Dr. Cerny is like, Juanita, you've already pushed yourself here. It's like, I push myself because this is where I am. This is where I'm going to be at. And these are the things that I'm going to make happen.
Right.
You know?
That's awesome. Setting goals. And also, when you're branding yourself, a lot of my self-employed contractors don't think they have a business because it's just them. You are your business. If you never hire one employee, you are your business. So you are a business, and I'm going to need you to get a tax ID number, so when they ask you, when you get contracts and they ask you to give them a W-9, you're not putting your social security number on that W-9, because so much identity theft goes on nowadays, and people just, you know, haphazardly leave papers on desks, and there's your social, your name and address. So that's one of the things I do recommend you getting for your business is a tax ID number. It's free of charge, irs.gov. If you need help, stop by the office. We'll help you get one. Yes, Mr. Javis.
Real quick, what is your first brand? What was each of you individuals' first brand? What was your first brand at the table?
What do you mean?
What was the first thing you ever branded that you should have? Yourself, your name.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm like you.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, me?
It's you.
Well, see, I mean, I had to hesitate because I'm a mom and I'm a grandmother. So basically, when you're a mom, the children brand you as.
It is you.
I know.
If you've never done it, go this afternoon and Google yourself.
Ooh, you'd be surprised.
more than
That's
anything.
affiliated with you.
Mhm.
You, and then business, me, business, me, business, me, business employees, back to me, business employees, back to me.
Now I'm
Always
17.
brand new.
Yeah, this is my 17th year in, my 5th year with employees. So my clients that was with me from 98 to 2006, they're not as apt to be with the employees because it was just me, me. So we're having to condition them now. Listen, no matter who you sit with, we have a process. They do your data entry, give you your numbers, but they're all registered, licensed, and degreed too. And sometimes it works over well. They'll be like, oh, she gave my numbers. I'm happy, good. I'll be like, yes. But then I got those clients, they just holding their stuff. No, I'm not sitting with nobody but Miss Javis. And I'm like, listen, I'm not going to key your stuff because we have to scan it. They have to put it in, and then I review it. My eyes are the last ones on it. So then that's how we have to let them know, it's okay to sit with somebody else. And trust me, she ain't my entourage. He better be as good as I am because they wouldn't be here. So, and that's another thing. As you grow, you're going to have growing pains. Lord, you're going to have growing pains. That is true. And when you will find out those who are not on the same boat. As I learned in fast track class, we was taught that they need to be on the bus, on the right seat on the bus. So those that you find out not on the right seat on the bus, then you're not going to renew their contract. They won't be back. Because you can't have somebody hurting your brand.
Let's give Miss Javis.
Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you for the invite.
And the Entrepreneur Club will meet in March, and we'll meet in April. And our March date is March 25th, just like today. And the April date, I think, that's what's got April 22nd. And that will be the last meeting for the year, because after that, some of them may have graduated.
So we all seniors? We all about to graduate? Okay.
Here, if you come next month, bring a gift.